how to develop a research project and write a research proposal. If you are applying for any scholarship in any country or in Germany, for example, DAD scholarship in Germany, then you have to develop a research project and write a research proposal. So what are the key components is like writing a paper, and a paper has an abstract, an introduction and methodology, results and discussion, and in the end it has a summary and also a bibliographic in citations from wherever you take your data. So if you are applying for a PhD position or a research grant, you will usually ask to submit a research proposal. The purpose of proposal is to ensure that the candidate has done sufficient preliminary reading research in his area of interest, and he has developed well-grounded research project, that he or she is familiar with the methodology of his subject. Your proposal will have to convince members of the academic community that you have identified a relevant scientific problem and methodological approach to solve the problem within a given time frame. So maybe it has to, if it is a PhD project, it has to be completed within 3 years, and you have to give the timeline. Your research proposal should be brief, not more than 10 pages. If you are applying for DAD research grant, the proposal should have a proper layout, a logical structure. And remember that professor offers have to read large number of research proposals. Therefore, good readability and conciseness of your proposal will be appreciated. If your host institution provides you with a research proposal, maybe if you correspond with different professor and institution and they give you a research proposal which is a part of any project or in a bigger project, then it has to be redefined according to your research needs or how you will modify it for your. So for this you need to correspond with your respective supervisors or the research group, and then they can guide you in how you can change it for your circumstance or for your PhD or for your master. And then you need to learn how you can develop your own research project. So project development and proposal writing do not always follow the same order. Thus, take your time to develop your project before you sit down to write the proposal. Before you start, please make sure once again that you understand the purpose of doctoral research. It is about completing a research project independently and making new findings available to the international research community. So you have a project which is time bound, and for this you should be prepared for it. You are not writing a book or something, it's a research project, so you have to keep in mind it has to be completed within a time frame. At the same time, expect to be part of a team. If you are going to do a PhD work, then maybe you are working with the postdocs, with doctors, with masters, with undergraduates, with graduates. So research topic often come under one comprehensive project which your supervisor is working, and one of his smaller project you can be part of it. So first step when you are developing your research project is to read what? It is to read literature, and in science they call it is a literature review. So the more recent, you start with most recent research. So whatever your supervisor is working, it's good idea you will go to his profile, maybe his Google profile or his university profile, and a different website make profiles of professor, so you can go there and you can read his work. The more you read, the more knowledge you get, and then you can plan how he has completed previous project. Each paper is a project. It has objectives, it has a introduction, it has a methodology, it has results and discussion. So by looking at it, you can, by reading your supervisor, you can select any of and take as a template for your project. But be sure that plagiarism should be avoided. It should just to follow his previous work as a guideline. I mean, you cannot just copy paste and then it will be rejected. And at the same time, research for German graduate schools and institutes working in your field and make yourself familiar with the research profile and ongoing projects. Keep in mind that German professors are very much specialized in their research. It is thus important to be well informed at their specific research area are. In whatever you want to study, if you want to study in chemistry, you should know it. If you want to study physics, you should know. If it is any subject, biology, then he should be expert in your area. First, you read a lot of recent research, then you narrow down your own project idea. I mean, whatever hypothesis you develop in doing literature review or in reading others' work, then you must come with a statement, research problem, or its different names, research statement, research problem, hypothesis, or research questions, and then you can based on these research questions, you can redo research, further literature review to support your work. Check once again carefully whether your project is really innovative and will lead to new results. But it's very important during PhD or higher studies that your work is very much innovative. Without this element, maybe no journal is going to publish your work, and until you publish, it means that you haven't done anything. So publication is a proof that you have done your work and you have completed your objective. Define your theoretical framework or your methodology. In social sciences, maybe theoretical framework is your research methodology. How you will complete your research objective is your research methodology. Maybe you will use some instruments. You need some chemicals. If it is chemistry, you will use some animals in biology, or what techniques you will use. So all this come in your methodology. Methodology comprises all the methods, all the instruments, all the SOPs, standard operating procedures, which you will use to collect your information for your project, for your PhD project. And another important step is, while doing all these things, while doing research, literature review, you need to find your supervisor or your institute or graduate school. There's a very time consuming activity, because to find a relevant person, you need to go to different universities and their websites, and you need to find your school, your specific your school, maybe your previous knowledge, your research background. So you, according to your research background, you need to search different universities and different professors, and then you need to study their profile. When writing a potential supervisor, make sure you follow the rules. For formal email writing, use a formal salutation line, dear professor, and then avoid all sort of slang, and never ever send identical email to a number of people. I mean, if you're sending it to one supervisor, make sure that for the next time you make a new one and then send. If you send a copy, maybe they are friends and they know in the same email coming to different people, then they will not respond. And if you want to join a graduate, so apply formally for the next possible intake, though the start of your project may have to be postponed until your scholarship comes into effect. How to draft your research proposal? So it's very easy. You first of all write the title page. From research review, you know what is your title of your work, and on the title page you state your personal data, your name, academic title, your position at your own university, and address, include telephone, email addresses. So anybody from it, you get, it's a title page. Then title page is followed by table of content, but it is written in the end. If you write all the contents, then you make a table of the content. Similarly, abstract. This is also written in the end because it's a concise summary of your project including the most important points. Please make sure your abstract is perfectly logic and coherent. Read abstract in scientific journals to make familiar with the words, wording and grammatical grammar in abstract writing. So it also problem statement and justification of the project. Explain briefly the problem you want to address and benefits your research could bring forward. And also hypothesis, the research question and objectives. For hypothesis and research question, you know how you read the literature and what research hypothesis you come across. Literature review, even in introduction is a mini literature, but you need to review and summarize copied from other sources together with the reference are considered plagiarism. So you need to write the, if you are writing literature review, you have to write in your own work, you have to write your own analyzed results. I mean, you read the literature, though you comprehend it, you understand, then you need to rewrite it according to your own plan. I mean, you cannot just copy from one article and other article and just collect and make it a literature. No, it's not a literature review. You need to write it in your own words, and if you just rewrite, so it will be checked and it will be rejected be due to high similarity index with previous. And your methodology, it should be clear in your product. I mean, what methodology you will use, what analysis you will do, how you will collect your data, and how you will analyze, and maybe it is qualitative, quantitative data. So all these should be in methodology. And also you can propose expected result outcomes of your research, and also you should include in them the references or the bibliography. So it should maybe you use different software and note for the references. And also you can give an extra sheet at the end. I mean, how you will achieve. You can break down your objectives, research objectives for the 3 years. If it is a PhD project, for first year, what are the objectives you will achieve, and for the second year, what are the objectives, and for the third, also you can call them milestones or objective with the passage of time. So about your style, pay attention to the text structure, style, wording when reading international publication. This will train your own academic writing skills, and be sure it should be clear and brief, and you should follow the factual style. Never get emotional, never lecture or campaign. Use facts and figure when describing a problem. Do not use any flowery phrases and buzzwords to make text look more impressive. Do not get over optimistic and overconfident with regard to outcome. Use rather a tentative language expressing a certain degree of uncertainty. So this is a best practice to prepare your project for your higher studies. And you can share your final draft after reading one time, then you keep it, and the next day you again read, and they keep repeating for after 2 and 3 times. When you become familiar and you have removed a lot of error, then you can send to your potential supervisor, and he will suggest you some changes, and because he is expert in this field, so after making those corrections you can submit this to the DAD or the funding organization, and you can hopefully get a successful PhD application. So this is how you develop a research project and write a successful research proposal for your PhD study, for studying in any foreign country or even in your own country. Thank you for watching.